Video looks like it's working. And so let's jump in. Let's get trading. So it has been a fantastic morning this morning. Just to kind of reiterate how these the rallies work is so on Monday mornings or we typically on a Monday morning we do the tap room, and that's an opportunity for me to bring in a guest trader, basically help them through a trading session. So we're walking through all the decision making, trying to communicate, where to push buttons, how to do things, a lot of that tactile learning that is so important. These rallies, on the other hand, the purpose of these rallies is to give you a chance to just kind of see it all in live action. So there will be a lot less interaction, a lot less dialogue, and a lot more trading. And so, we'll get into some heavier positions. We'll build around those positions as we get these trades going. And really, it's an opportunity for you to see how everything kind of comes together. Similar to the way that we do the trading room at Apiary Fund, only in the trading room, we're kind of doing a mix between the teaching and the trading. Here, the design is, the purpose is to really just get in and get in and do some trading. So with that, we're just going to jump in. So good question, Douglas. So a lot of the income that I got this morning, I had 2 sessions, one last night in the Tokyo market, and then one today as I was catching. It was just a fantastic morning. But so when I kind of got into the market this morning, it was right about in here. And so as this market was forming a lot of this tail activity, I was peeling off the top edges of that range and picking up the bottom edges of that range. So a lot of what you see, probably 2/3 of what you see in terms of income this morning, was done picking out these ranges. So that volatility is kind of gone from the market, had a little bit of a run, some consolidations, and now we're getting more directional movement. So we're going to adjust a little. I'm going to adjust a little bit of how I trade, and I'm going to adjust a little bit about how we trade this morning. Notice I am trading a little bit larger lot sizes. So I'm trading a 0.25 lot size. So I'm going in, normally you'll watch when I trade a 0.1 lot size. So I'm getting in a little heavier on these positions. So I'm going to be a little bit slower. And right now, what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to try and pick off. I've got a little bit of a sideways consolidation possibly forming, very good chance of a run higher, but I don't want to miss out. I want to take advantage of these consolidations because that's what's been treating me really good this morning, is this up and down sideways market.
Douglas asked if you're going short in the morning or long?
Both. Trading both sides, short and the long side. Okay, so here's that little run that I was looking, that was looking like it could happen. So again, I'm gonna fade the outside of that edge, and all of these trade targets are in a great spot because we're above that consolidation lows right in here. So let's see if we can get a pull back all the way back into that consolidation. These targets are a little outside the range, but I'm just going to kind of let them sit there for a second and see if I get an outside range on this candle. Maybe pull up one of them or two. Now let's see if we get that outside range. I like the volatility this morning. It's been fantastic. So I'll keep fading this outside range. Right here, might get a little pop down to hit those targets. I expect a wick on the underside. 20 seconds left on that candle, so the real movement's going to start to happen right here. There we go. There's that. Now let's see if we get that wick. And this is why I was saying those outside ranges, those outside trade targets were a little out of bounds. That's why I said that, is because it's like, you know, it may hit it right here, but so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull those targets up. We're going to take a little smaller loss or smaller gain on those. And then I'm going to hopefully get into another long here in just a second. That wick on the top side is leading me to believe that there might be another push lower on that. And so I want to see if there's a good reason for me to get into some longs. And so we'll probably try and put some longs on down in that range. But if it pops back up, we're going to put those shorts back on. Build. So I want to get a good stack of trades on right there. The key to my trading sessions is constantly booking income. So I'm not looking for big income. I'm not looking for you know, home runs. All I'm looking for is that consistent, easy income. So anytime I can get a good stack of trades, you know, before a line of resistance or support comes in between us, I'm going to make sure I stack up as much as I possibly can on those positions. So there we go. That's fantastic. Now we wait for it to run a little bit here. And then I'm watching it over here to see if we push down into those, into that trend line. And then I'll probably try and grab a long. So a little early. Wait for that to move just a little bit more. Wait for it, wait for it. I want to see momentum, because this is where momentum can pick up, and I don't want to fight that momentum. So what I'm looking for is this candle to kind of close down on the lows. 3, 2, 1. No close. The second candle is a tail. Now I'm going to start to build. Now, the second candle is a TELL candle, not a TAIL. I always got to make sure it's our tail candle, because it tells us, you know, most likely what's going to happen moving forward. So I want to catch that little leg rise up. Not real hopeful on this trade right here. More of a chance of it dropping another leg lower. So I'm not going to build too big. And I want to stack all those targets right under the highs of those bodies, or yeah, the highs of those bodies. Okay, right here, 21 second left to new candle. So that's good. Now, if I can get another trade with target set under here, then I'm going to try and get that next stack on. Right in here. Pull these down. Nice. Keep going. That top one's a little out. There we go. A little out of bounds on that top one. Looking for a wick to form here. There we go. Nice.
Sean, do you make your entry line semi-invisible in the settings?
Yeah, definitely. So Doug, I definitely put that, there we go, that nice stack. I definitely put the transparency on those order lines just because it gets, you've seen it all. Fills up the chart and that's not fun. All right, dropping back down again. So let's see if we can get a good entry again. Gonna wait for that. This could be the first retracement. So the first retracement and then a continuation. So I don't want to get too big early. I will try and build towards the low of this, but this might make a run to the low side. I'm still expecting that market to drop down into that trend on that 5-minute chart. So still too early to build trades. These are just throwaway trades. I don't really care too much about those. I'm just gauging where we're at in the structure. Since those are throwaway trades, I might as well just peel them off right in here. Okay, so now, how do you read this? This bar changes things. So if this bar can close on a high up here, but still super early, so I'm going to start to put some shorts on. Looking for that wick. Ten seconds left on that candle. So I'm going to build fairly decent position here. All those trades are a little. I'm tuning those trades, just pushing them up underneath that low of that candle. I want to build. I want to catch that momentum as it starts to push down. And I'm going to start to pull these down. This is a failure to move higher, often opens the door for a move lower. So I'm going to try and make a little extra money on those. Now, these are getting out of, don't want to be building trades and pushing those below the lows. Still looking over here on that 5-minute chart, still a really good chance for it to drop back down into there. So this is, I'm starting to build a setup right in here, starting to build into my positions. Little place there where you can get greedy. Shouldn't have got greedy. There we go. There we go. Nice. Fantastic. Keep going. If it pops back up, I'm still gonna put on those shorts back on, but I want to wait for it to get above that first yellow right in there. Wait for it, wait for it. Build a couple, nothing too big here. So it's given up it's taken a lot of the pressure out of the up leg. So up leg builds pressure. It's rested and building pressure into a new momentum burst. So that momentum burst could easily push us back up on the top. So I don't want to build too big right here. I think I'm gonna wait for that to run just a little bit more. Because right here, this is a fantastic place for a breakout bar. So I'm gonna watch and wait, see if that bar comes. Maybe I'll throw a couple trades on. So you see how that comes. It's letting out. It's got the up leg. It's resting, but it's building tension in this rest. A lot of alternating candles, a lot of wicks on both sides. So we're expecting a break at some point. That candle right there gave us an idea that it may break to the high side. So, you know, I don't want to build too big because that next run could put us up right on the highs. And I don't want to be holding on to that position. I may have to take some losses if it does that right here. Let's see if this candle follows through on the high side. Big tail on the bottom gives it a little momentum. 15 seconds left on that candle. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now the tell, T-E-L-L, wait for this candle. I've been burned on that candle way too many times to give up on the bull run right here. Slowly building into that short position. Don't love that 5-minute chart. We're gonna get some movement, and I don't want to be on the wrong side of that movement. Looking for a tail to form. 14 seconds left on that candle. I'm positioned for a move to the downside, but it looks like it could go either direction right now. So, okay, the turn right here. Peel those down a little bit because that break should give us a little extra money. If it doesn't break, we're not going to get them anyway. So it's a good place to peel those down. Make a little extra money on those trades. Okay, the turn. Come on, it's going to make that turn right here. Kind of putting a little pressure on that turning point. 14 seconds left on that candle. Watch for a little bit of build up. I'm adding a couple more, a little bit more to that short side. I'm gonna pull these up just a little bit so I won't make as much money on that side, but I should make it up with those adjustments on the higher profit targets. And sometimes it's hard to use both your language and trading at the same time. Used to being in your zone and you're just like, All right, because that didn't turn right there, I'm kind of preparing for a test on the high side at this point. So just preparing. preparing my mind, not nothing I can really do. If I close out of trades, I start to get wishy-washy. So I find that I'm just preparing my mind for a move against me, not taking action. More times than not, when you take action because you're thinking the market's going to go against you, it ends up burning you in the long run. All right, come on. See a little follow through. 30 seconds left on that candle. Even a wick would be fantastic. Even a wick. Not that kind of wick, like a big wick. Like a big push, test the lows. That would be just fine. You feel the momentum is kind of, or the volatility has shrunk since we've started in the last few minutes. That volatility has shrunk. Traders don't know which direction this is going, and so they're sitting on their hands like we are, waiting for the market to tell what it's going to do. And just needed to push a little bit more, just a little volatility pop, and not in that direction. Yeah, we may get that volatility pop yet, just not in the right direction. These are the moments you get all edgy, right? You're just like, come on, make your move. A lot of pressure pushing this market up. I'm going to hedge. I'll start to build a hedge. I don't like how it's sitting there for that long, so I'm going to build into a little hedge right in here. And what I'm doing right here is I'm going to force myself to, I'll take a loss on one side of the market, I'll either take the loss on the short side or the long side, and force myself to manage out of the other side of my position. So on a move like this, where you don't have a lot of real clear directional, like this thing could pop either direction. There's often a reflexive move after the pop, and I'm going to use that reflexive move to hedge up or to manage the losing position. So whatever that losing position is. So not quite a full one-to-one hedge, but close. There we go. And then I'm going to start to manage as it takes off those longs. I'm going to start to build into my second short position. Build a little strong right in there. Now all of these can come up. See what I did there? So now I'm going to pull these up. Won't be making money on those, but okay, now this is a place where that market can make a run, so gotta be careful. Character of the market has changed, so you've got to note that. You got to note how that change in the character, because it affects what it does from here on out. You get used to trading one market condition, and then you get a character change, and then all of a sudden you're upside down because it moves from a highly volatile consolidatorial I don't even know the word, I just made that up, character to now a more to now a more trending character. So you gotta be careful of that. Just refresh my screen. Sometimes when you start doing a lot of this trading like this, you start to put too many resources to work. Okay, build. So if this is going to make a pop higher, it's got to hold above these. It's got to hold above this line here. So if it's going to make a build a leg to the high side. So obviously all of our trades are underneath. So I'm a little out of whack on my trades. So I'm just going to keep an eye on how this market forms. See if it starts to build a bull case from here. Otherwise, if it turns, watch down here, we're going to make a little bit of money on the other side. Very good, like that. Just like that. That's really good. Not quite. See, I needed to pull those trades back up, so I'm just going to go into the process of breaking even on those as much as possible. And I'm not looking for income off these. I'm just looking to get back to flat. Back to flat. All right, now we wait. Okay, so I think we started off the session about a 41, so we picked up about $500-ish. The market's not been moving all that great in the last 10-15 minutes. Usually on a day like this, I'm going to be packing it up because that good volatility, that's where I make the majority of my money, is in that good volatility, unless it's an evening session. And then I'm really looking for that drift. Ooh, look, it's going to come down and do what we thought it might do. At least try. I'm going to build some shorts. I'm going to go for a very quick test on that. Let me get in there fast enough. Test on that trend line. I'm still looking for that trend line test. So that's why I'm building into these shorts. I don't want to get too heavy, but I do want to take that. The market kind of likes to test those areas, test those things out. So, I mean, this could fail, backfire on me, but that would just be a failed trade. But there's pretty good chance it's going to try and make that run down to those lows. Pressing on that support. So I'm just looking for a little volatility pop and a test of that red trend line. I want to make sure I get out of all those trades. So I want to get them in a high probability hit. Come on. Give us a little volatility here, guys. Too far. You can't trade. Can't trade that one. So match the tail, did not test the trend line. So again, we're looking for that to test the trend line right here, maybe. No. Start to build into the longs. Ideally, we get those longs underneath that white line. Look for a trampoline move. So a trampoline would bring us up to that white line, hit our targets, and then pop lower. New candle. Great place for a run, a bull run, because it staved off the bear attack. So the bear move was rejected. So this is a great place for a hop. Trampoline didn't work. So this is our, that line changes the bias or the next couple of candles. So going back into that short, still looking for a move to the downside. Market has a really good way of forcing us into patience. So now the bull run was rejected. And so now we're right in the same place we've been for most of the last 15, 20 minutes. We don't have a real argument for it going higher, don't have a real argument for it going lower, except if it breaks this white line, that gives you the argument for, that gives you the case for a bull run. So 20 seconds left on that candle. 18, 17, 16, 15. Be really nice to get a body, a bearish body here. 9, 8, 7. Bulls could really change the tide right here. 1. They didn't do it. They did it there. Okay, another rejection. And another rejection. Kind of love mornings like this. Again, for those of you, if you're new to trading, this is just fast version of everything that we teach, everything that we learn here at Trader on the Street and Apiary Fund, all put into practice into live market conditions. So if it's a little overwhelming, if it's a little over your head, don't let that bother you. This is just like, you want to see this, right? Because who doesn't want to wake up, every day and pill out, a couple of percent return in the market. That's why we're learning what we're learning. Okay, right here, I could try and test that trend line again. See if we get that test of that trend line. I'll take those wins, and I'll definitely take that win. That's great. Pushes us up to about I'm gonna peel off some of these outside edges. I'm not going to make much more money, so I might as well peel them off, because the way this thing's been going, we're not moving into trending markets. And this is a good place for a bounce if we can get it. So I might as well just peel them off. Okay. All right. There we go. So now we're up to about $700. Now the big question is, will this trend line hold? So we said that, the whole, the last 15, 20 minutes has all been building for this to test that trend line. So now we're testing it. So now, does it break through and push lower, or does it reverse and push back up to the top? Trend continues for the morning, then it bounces and makes a move higher. But how much work has it been getting to where it is now? This may be one of those starts to a new down leg. And you look at how much work it takes to get up here versus how much it takes to drop this morning. Work, drop, drop. So getting into longs here is a dangerous thing, right? Getting into longs here is a dangerous thing, because if this thing decides to make the break, then you see big, long breaking candles, lots of momentum, not a lot of this volatility. All that volatility was there because it was fighting going up. The trend is that not to fight going down, because the fight's not there going down. So we'd be really careful right in here. I will build a couple of longs down on this support down here. So, but I want to see how that market moves into that support. If it comes in hard and fast, I'm not going to do it. If it does what it's doing right here, then I might start to build real small long positions. But I'm going to be real careful right here, because this is a place where we can lose a lot of money real quick. Get that underneath the top of that candle and below all that mess over there. So right here. So just starting to build very slow, very slow. Don't want to get in too quick, because this is the danger spot. Very likely we'll have another momentum bear candle. So right here, boom. Okay, so now I've got my position on. I don't want to get much bigger. I'm going to watch how this candle closes. 17 seconds left, looking for that wick to form. There's the wick. Now down into the 10 seconds. So if this builds momentum and a break down here, a body close right here is good. A body close any lower than this puts the argument on for a run. So body closed above the line. Now let's see if we get that return. Now this candle, really important that we come up and test the highs up here on this candle. If not, it's a follow through candle. So starting to form a little follow through, 35 seconds left on that candle. So still plenty of time, and a lower low. That's not what we want to see. Love to see that candle close up on the highs. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. That's good. Not that it's not over yet, but that does give us a little bit of it gives us a little bit of an opportunity. Not a huge opportunity, just a little one. I'm going to pop those down. I'm thinking that on a run to the highs, it stops here or it stops at the low of that candle. Peel off a couple of those lost trades. So now I got plenty of room. I just broke even on a couple of those trades. And now I've got all my stack down here. If it hits, we'll make a little bit of money. If not, next thing I want to do is build into some shorts. If I can get them above, as I'm hitting the targets up here, I'm going to replace them with shorts. Very good, right there. I want them above the high of that apex candle. There's the apex candle, so I want those targets above the high of that apex candle. Now, I'm looking for a second test of the lows. So we've got one good test of the low, and I'm looking for a second test down on the lows. That's why I'm getting into these shorts right in here. But again, I think that it finds support on the top of that candle, or now if it builds more bullish behavior above, then I think that we find support down either at the low here or at the high of that wick or the low of that wick. So it's going to be hard pressed to hit these targets down here. This is the first retracement trade, right? Break down, retrace. So right here, everything is still in good for the short position. But if it breaks higher than here, then it kind of takes the sails out from underneath us, the wind from underneath our sails. Literally sails, not buys, sails. See, that took it, that did it. 3 seconds left, so that's a runner. Okay, so now we've got a pivot up here. We should have come up here and turned. So now the last of this trade opportunity starts to we got one more trade opportunity right here to build into some shorts and get a little bit of a root run lower. So I'm going to build pretty heavy right there. And it's going to run. So you know how we were talking about the easy run down, Now we're seeing an easy run up. It was difficult to get down, but now we're seeing that easy run to the high side. So character has changed. Momentum has changed. A lot has changed. So we're gonna try and break even on these trades here. So as it comes down into here, hits a target stack, hopefully. Come on. There we go. Peeling off, using income to peel off losses. Oh man, never mind. We'll take it. Killing off those losses. Don't want to hold on to them. Don't count. Just because it moves like that doesn't mean it'll continue. So that just fixed about everything. We're up about $1,000 on the session. $1,000 on a $50,000 account is pretty good return. I mean, that's a day's worth of, that's a normal day. That's what I'm typically looking for on a day, on a trading day, is about $1,000 on a $50,000 account. And usually I can pack it up and call it good. I'm just going to peel out. I'm going to try and get out of the last of these few trades. There's a table forming here, so I'm going to pull these all up, try and get above the end low of that table. And break even on the last of these trades. Very high probability target right there. Chance I can make some money on it, so I'm gonna keep an eye on that pips, realized pips, because when that hits 0, then I'm at break even. And I'll want to close out. Yeah, kind of slow. After that big monster bar, not sure what these are doing. Just want to make sure I have a good high probability target here. Run to the high side, 14 seconds left on that candle. And pushing the break on the 5-minute down leg. So down leg right there. So this is breaking both that top and that down leg. So now I'm upside down on a trade. So I'm just going to build a big position right here. Try and catch a quick scalp. And try and get that down to 0. But this is a place where it could easily run again. So just be careful on a trade like this. "20 seconds left on that candle." A follow-through bull candle is very, very likely here. again, I'm telling myself, I'm saying that more for me to prepare for that than to predict it. So I think a lot of, when I say that kind of thing, a lot of you think I'm predicting, but it's not a predict. That's comments, not a prediction. That's a be prepared because that could happen. And again, I'm just looking to break even on this trade, not looking to make money. I'm in fixing it mode right now. Sellers have left. They're gonzo. So holding in that upper candle, in that upper range gives it another leg higher. So possibly a divergence here, but still very early. Getting all those targets up above that white line. So there's a lot of lines in a lot of lines between where we're at right now and our target stack. So let me just draw them in real quick so you can see those. Got a line there. Got a line there. We will also have a line like right there. So there's a two line stack that a down leg's going to have to break through. So that's kind of a lot to ask. So let's see if we can get down through that. Building that continued march. Don't like that. That's not good for us right there. And so let's see if I can get another stack in above those lines without it bursting. Okay, so using that income to take off losses. Okay, so that move right there, that big wick on a breakout bar is a huge momentum, signaling huge momentum to the upside. So we're now in a position where this is going to take us a lot of bit to fix. So we're definitely getting a breakout moment right here. And a rejection. Use that money to peel off. Again, we're not looking to make a bunch of money right here. Just looking to break even. I've given up about half of the income that we had during that at our high. So I really need a turn right here, and that because that rejection came in, I'm kind of giving it's kind of giving me a little bit of hope. But the turn happens everything is kind of like all congregating right in here. See? So literally we have to get down below that, or we have to fix a lot of those positions through the natural wobble. So another big tail on the bottom side, which again is a very bullish signal. Going into another stack of shorts right here. And be careful that, because this is a place that could grab easy. A lot of that was just outside range, right? Just a few minutes ago, it was looking to break lower. Now it's all signs are to move for a move higher. So just that outside range that we love so much. Could gear up for another move to the high side right here. This could be a momentum burst bar. It's a little scary right there. A little nerve-wracking. Those little presses through there are dangerous because it gives the following bar like no resistance on this bar. So anytime you see a slow press up through a high, that second bar has got free momentum. So I'm really kind of living dangerous right now. Now, ideally, we can get a move back down to this area. But again, to really get back to where we were, we need to turn back below that line, unless we can pull out enough on this down leg. So one thing we could do is start to split this. So pull some of these lower, make a little extra money. It's the equivalent of getting another 2-pip trade in. And then bring these up the equivalent. So, but again, I'm not positioned real great for this. A full pullback would be really good right in here, but it's overextended on the day. The character has changed. It's an outside range. Everything that could possibly be wrong is wrong with this trade. Got to make a turn here. make its turn. It's got a double turn, one right here, second one right here. So it's got to get through 2 layers, kind of like what it was having to do down here. We could leave part of that stack on right here and try and, or we can move it down if we feel like we're going to get a move. Okay, so it made it through 1. Now it's stopping on the second. Needs to break through that. Needs to break through. Come on now. If it does, I think I've adjusted everything. So if it gets down and tests that white line, I think I'll be break even, right back onto the highs of our income. I am going to take an opportunity to peel off a couple of these outside edges. So I'm just going to peel a couple of those off, peel off as it comes into those targets. Come on, keep going. There we go. Wait for it to run a little bit more. Hopefully we get another concerted down candle. So we're looking for 2 to 3 candles right here. So let it make its run. I'm just slowly peeling off the lost side. Because if it makes a run back up to the highs, we'll put all these trades back on. So we're just getting out of this losing position. Should have another bear candle. That's not a bear candle. Okay, so candle closed. Now that'll open up the door for bull candle follow through. And that did us actually a lot of good right there, because now we can get back into this trade and we can do one more adjustment if it works out in our favor. So let it run, add some more. Now we're in a consolidation zone. That was a really strong move. But again, all that move right there that's all because of the bullish bias or bullish momentum that we have right now. So this is all bullish movement because we're in that bull momentum for the day. So my hope is if I can get a good stack and a bounce off these highs, then I might be break even right in here. So I'm definitely break even up above the white lines at this point. So I could pull all of these up and still break even at this point because I've got that last stack on. So I'm just going to go through the process, keep myself busy, make sure that I'm not making mistakes and adding too much on the high side. Because I can endure this. As long as I get real pullbacks like that. I can endure quite a bit. It's just time. And right now I'm trading for no income. I'm just trading for break even, right? Watching this candle, how it forms. This is a dangerous spot to be in because it's in the top ranges and holding, right? You're in the top range and holding. So if we don't get a bearish move out of this, then again, that door is open for another leg higher. That would be not enjoyable to work through. There's the attempted run, fade that outside edge, and a true break, or almost a true break, it's not quite yet. 9 seconds, 10 seconds, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And this is a divergence. We talked a little bit about that yesterday in our trading room, but we do have a divergence here, so that could set up a leg lower here. Depending on what this candle does, if it makes another bull candle, then the divergence trade won't really set up. But if it holds, then that divergence trade is good. Very good. If it can drop down and hit that stack, again, I'll start to close out just like that. Keep going. So I'm closing out on the other side. I love trading. I'll just let it go. That's that divergence trade. Get all wound up. All right, so we picked up almost $2,000 on that trading session right there. Being in the right place, it always tests you. It always tests your metals. It always tests. I mean, you always look back and you're like, I should have done this. I should have done that. And it's putting you in that mode of like, you don't know what you're doing, but again, it's the technique that keeps you in the trades. This thing could have just as easily made a bull run across that, up. Could have easily made that bull run, and I would have just kept doing the same thing. It's as long as we get that volatility, I can withstand just about anything. And then being in the right place for when a move like that happens. I mean, those are haymakers, right? They just like, that is just as good as it can get right there. We talked a little bit about the ease, the bearish ease. There's definitely a bearish ease to the market. And this is that, right? That thing was wound up so tight. When I saw that divergence happening, I was like, oh, that's a good thing for us right there. So I had no idea, honestly, that it would run like that. That's an anomaly. But isn't it nice to be there when it happens? My clock says 2:31. I'm not sure what I'm just looking through the, oh, is Yellen tweeting? Aaron, I'd be happy to do, so divergence. So Aaron asked the question about divergence, and then, so I'll address that question, and then we'll kind of wrap up for the day. Divergence is you've got the market at an extreme level, right? So a lot of your indicators will be showing, overbought conditions right in here. And then you get a pullback and it lets out a lot of the steam that has been built up in through here, right? So this is very important for market structure, right? If that next move doesn't match the first move, if that next move up doesn't match the first move up with the intensity, then it's called divergence because it's not equaling the previous intensity. It's diverging. It's going up, it's hitting higher highs, but on significantly smaller momentum, right? And so what that does is that often is a signal or a trigger to move the other direction. There are times when divergences are really common in the market, and then there are times when you never see them. It just so happens that this week we've seen, a couple of really good divergences in the last couple of days, but that's basically what it is. Now, if we go in and add like an RSI relative strength indicator, you'll see that an easy way to measure the divergences with like an indicator is to just say, measure the highs because we're measuring the tops, and then measure the highs on the indicator, and you see how they're going different directions. These highs are getting lower. That means it's not matching the force that it had over here. So this really moved the needle. It was really going places. Well, this next run didn't quite move the needle. This next run didn't quite move the needle. So that momentum is getting smaller each time. And so the idea is that if that momentum is getting smaller each time, then it's going to flip and move the other direction. And that's kind of what we saw. And we saw a perfect example of that yesterday, and then another example of it today. But that's what that divergence trade is. It's really easy to see if you throw your RSIs or any other momentum indicators on. But RSI is really kind of the best one, I think. My opinion. I would get argued up and down one side and the other if I said that in a group of traders. But I like the RSI. That's my opinion. But it's really easy to see it, right? Just take the highs, draw lines through the highs, draw lines through the lows. Same thing on the lows, right? So you would see something like this on the lows. So if this were to drop down like that, we would see a drop here. And if RSI was going up like that, we'd see an up. That's a bullish divergence. That would be a bullish divergence. Got it, Aaron? I wish we could get that chat in. We are not going to end this day without figuring out that chat bar. Thank you, Zoom, for constantly changing things on us. All right, traders. Let's do this. We're going to take a roll, and we'll give everybody. It's a good day. We should give everyone 10,000 street cred today. That's your next rally. You got the entire rally for free. So we'll throw everybody 10,000 street cred for joining us today, and we will. You can use that street cred to get into the next rally in 2 weeks. Okay, thanks everyone. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Happy trading.